For our perspective study, we are going to be completing 2 guided worksheets, one on 1 point and one on 2 point. Then we will choose one of these perspectives to work from and create a plein air drawing. To complete this worksheet, you will follow each square step by step. And eventually the box you're working on will look like the very last box from your guided worksheet. To create the depth of the room, you're using 1 point perspective, and your 1 point is in the center of the room. All of your guided lines flow from this 1 point in a radial position. You will notice on your worksheet, the guide lines are a little bit dimmer than the actual lines that you're supposed to be drawing. So if you want to keep these guidelines on there until you're done, you just make sure that you erase them in the end. As you can see, I am using a ruler as a straight edge. You don't necessarily need a ruler, you just need something with a straight edge that's going to help you create straight lines. So maybe instead of a ruler, you could even use a piece of paper or something else that you find lying around the house that's straight. You may be starting to notice which lines are created from the point. It's lots of these diagonal lines, the ones that are at the top and the bottom of the door and the window, and also the lines that are creating the depth into the room, so where the ceiling meets the walls. Once you complete the inside of the room, you will flip your worksheet over and complete the geometric square that becomes a cube from a 1 point perspective. Now that you've completed 1 point, we'll move on to creating a 2 point drawing. So again, we are creating depth, but this time we're using 2 point perspective. We're also doing this step by step, following the guided worksheet. As you can see, point 1 and point 2 are almost off the page. They're right at the edge. The lines that are coming off of these 2 points and creating a radial axis around them are going to intersect, and that is where we're going to have the center of the room. From there, we can go ahead and start erasing some of our guided lines. As you start to draw the features of the room, including the window and the door, you'll notice that you're starting to measure from the opposite point. So the top of the door and the top of the window are actually measured off of the point that's located on the opposite side that it's being drawn on. Once you complete both sides of your 1-point and 2-point worksheet, you can move on to your plein air drawing. A plein air drawing occurs outside and usually is in the wilderness. You can do this in the city as well. You just go outside and start looking at buildings or nature around you, and you are going to position yourself to draw either in 1-point or 2-point. Here I'm starting with a 1-point perspective, and then I'll move on to a 2-point perspective. You get to choose one or the other. You do not need to complete both. Here you can see the 1-point I was working from and all the lines that are going off of it that create the radial effect. These are my guidelines that I'm using to measure from and that I also get rid of. And here is an example of the 2-point perspective plein air style sketch. You can see here I'm also using a ruler, but you just need to have a straight edge. It could be anything that's straight. And you can see I'm documenting all the radial lines that are going to cross paths from my 2 points. Also, feel free to use your pastels and experiment with color during this 1 or 2-point sketch. Using color is not required, and in fact, you don't even need to use your charcoal. If you feel more comfortable just using a pencil, that's fine for this project.